Yes, we are live.
Hold on, mine's not.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Galactic Conversations.
Yeah.
Leave the rest.
Yeah.
So I had a really interesting experience now in the access bars session. So like I just went deep because I've been around like 1,000 people this weekend, like the full weekend. And it was raining on Friday and we were camping, but it was amazing. And then the wind came in on Saturday and then the sun came out Sunday. And like all these people, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so wild. Like this is so overwhelming, but it was amazing. So obviously we've got ceremony this week. So I was just like, cool, let me just cleanse my field and everything. So I got in the ocean this morning, then did this access bars session where I was just like decoding from, a couple of people. And as I was working on one particular person, it happened so quickly. Like I flashed into, or something flashed into this reality.
Good. I'm glad that you've picked that up.
Yeah, as in the distinction between flashing out and it flashing in.
Well, yes, flashing in. Because remember last week when we did the Galactical Conversations that we recorded?
Yeah.
I said at the beginning, to what's her name? Oh, I saw a glitch.
Yes.
Come in.
Just so you guys know, basically, sorry about our non-presence last week, but we did a beautiful recording with a dear friend of mine, dear sister Tongo, who's moving through a tossa, which would have been amazing, but something glitched in and
right at the beginning. Yeah, I saw it.
Recording was cancelled, and so the ancestors were like, nah, not having this information. But anyway, in the session now, this I think it was a Native American man that glitched in, but I was so still. I mean, I was deep. I was so still, and I was just balancing my masculine and feminine. And then all of a sudden, like it glitched in, and I went, and she was deep in her process, and she was like, and then I was like, I'm so sorry. And she was like, there's actually a doorway in front of us now. Like, let's just close the doorway. Yeah. So that was quite interesting. But it was like this, and then it was gone again. So yeah, I think it was a Native American man. That was my memory. It was so quick, but that was what I was feeling. Yeah. I don't know if he's still around or did he glitch in and stay in? Or?
No, I think he's around you.
Okay. Is this the same big guy from Zabula?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, that native guy. Yeah. Yes. Interesting. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was funny because this weekend there's another guy that I know that does a lot of online work, like a lot of readings and things like that. Obviously very different work to myself and what you do. And I never see him go out. I mean, he's behind his screen, very like AI as well, but also very cosmic. And I was like, oh, wow, embodying your human experience. Welcome. And the next day he looked at me and he was like, yo, girl, I was watching you. You are gridding a big space. I was like, well, there's a lot of people here, So yeah, that was interesting to chat to him. The digital shaman out there,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think also with I think it also falls in line with, can I say that? Hang on, let me just check that. Also with the COVID, you've had to have individuals that basically take their business online.
Yes, of course.
And I think for some, I think they've picked up extra special skills in the sense of distance healing or remote work, basically, instead of having the client come to your house or having a ceremony as such. So I think the aspects of this have really, I think, pushed people's push people, that just that extra 20, 30%, which is great.
Yeah. But also, like, again, everything in its polarity within this earth construct, because for me, I'm like, and of course it depends on the person and the healing that they do, or what their coding is. But like, I often, it's not to say that I get fearful, but I'm very cautious, again, that word discernment of like, when you're too much in your digital space and you're forgetting about the sun and the earth and being present. I mean, for you in Joburg, I don't blame you for staying home and indoors. But, in Cape Town specifically, like, I just think
I think that balance is very important. However, you will get those that are, hang on, I have to wait for the right word here. You will get those that work better on their own.
Yes, of course.
It's better for them. Okay, in terms of the doing remote work through the computer as such.
Yeah.
You just have to be careful there in terms of any interference that comes in.
Interesting to say that, because our one dear dimensional exorcist that we were speaking about, she just after full moon eclipse, and I think after my ceremony, it was just before ceremony, and I just said, how are you doing? How's your energy field? Like, this week has wiped me. And she said, no, I'm actually been good this week, but now I'm feeling like the after effects of it.
Yes.
And she said she was on her laptop, and she said she knows what she's dealing with. There's this particular energy that's in her space, she knows of it. But she said she was on her laptop and this ET interference was coming through, where her screen was just going like this, and a voice was coming through, and she was like, holy shit, like, yeah.
So that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You have to be careful.
Yeah.
From that aspect, and also when you work distant healing. So I mean, I'll do work through with clients through the computer.
Yeah.
But then I'll also do remote work in the sense of activations and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's dependable on the person, but I mean, every instance of I have to wait for the right word here. There's a specific word. Every instance of engagement, you still need your firewalls.
Yes, of course.
You still need your firewalls.
Yeah. So what topics do we have this week? What's this new? So I was working through a tiny, tiny, tiny glitch of anger this morning of like, new strain, new this, new restrictions. Client can't come because they're coming from I've got a client from the UK, another client from the UK, and a potential client from Tunisia. So like my next 3 clients are like up in the air. But whatever this new strain is, if the anagram of it is actually moronic. Did you know that?
So I don't watch. I'm not up to date with any of the stuff. I only did, like I say, when Carolina went into the staff meeting, and she asked me to put protection around her. I did a special coding.
Yeah.
And like I say, there was somebody that was actually in the room that had COVID that was obviously unaware.
Yeah.
But she's all good. So I don't know what is happening. I don't know.
So there's a new variant that's out, which from my knowledge is completely logical based on the fact that everything is consciousness and its objective will be to evolve and expand itself. And this virus in its original context was said to be hugely intelligent. And of course, when you are creating vaccinations, whether they work or not, I mean, it's billions of people receiving it. I'm sure there's much being experimented with and researched on. So, the science part of it is that what happens in these instances is that virus will mutate to keep its life force going, its energy. And so, it's like shock, horror, horror. There's a new variant, but that is precisely what was bound to happen. And the point I was trying to make earlier is whatever the new name of it is, I'm not going to go on my phone now, but there's a new name of it. The anagram of it, so if you mix the words up, is actually moronic.
Okay, now I understand.
Yes. And anyway, so yeah, we are now on a red list, and
I really feel for all those people that have got on planes and that are now stuck.
Well, or that weren't able to get on planes. So my aunt, for example's sake, she's called me. She's like, please speak to your guides. And it's really tough for me. And I guess maybe this can be one of our introductions to a topic, is dealing with very specifically family, within your soul tribe, with tough conversations, because, she's now directly asked me, and if we take the universal laws, it's like, we wait with our family, we hold the space, we hold frequency, we do our thing. And then they happen to ask, and you're like, okay, you've asked now.
Mm.
So now I'm going to give you the information that I believe is relevant to me. Take what resonates, leave the rest. But it's this like, oh, okay, now we are engaging. Now we are in an engagement, and it's like, it's tough with family.
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't talk to my family, so I don't have issues there. What was the question?
Well, her question was, she was like, my flight's just this, and I'm angry at this, and I'm meant to be flying, and obviously she was meant to see her 2 kids over Christmas time and her grandson and everything. And at this point, her rental lease was, everything's complete here. That she's actually at a completion point here in South Africa. And now this has been shut down. So she's kind of like in this limbo space, which she's been in for a while, but also, her husband passed a couple of years ago. So beyond our immediate family, her sister, her brother, her mom here in Cape Town, she's like, what, I don't know, I need guidance. And I'm kind of like, we have to begin to look at belief systems at this point, like, did you, and she's angry because she got the vax so that she could do this, much like many people around the world, and then is now being told, well, no, you can't, no, you did that. So it's like the inner child is just being traumatized over and over again. But mommy, you said I could do this if I did this, and now they did that thing, and mommy and daddy are going, no. So it's beautiful, I get it, but it's just tough.
It's life.
It's life, yeah.
And I would say, my advice to anybody from the beginning of COVID already, do not travel for the next 2 years, because this thing is going to mutate at least 7 or 8 times.
Yeah.
And unless you're immigrating, because I know that a shitload of people have immigrated from South Africa. So unless you have a one-way ticket somewhere, that you're able to travel out of South Africa, and land in your country.
Or that you've got no attachment to returning.
Yes, correct.
When I go,
So because, I mean, I'm only looking, that's why I gave myself from already the start of COVID, or just after COVID, basically 18 months to travel, and that will be next year, August, September. Unfortunately, not everybody's will understand that. They don't want to. They want to, they want to go. They want to travel. They want to get on a plane. They just want things to go back to normal. They want to relax. They want to go on holiday.
Yeah.
They want to go to the ocean. They want to go see new countries, taste new foods. Just get away from COVID. But the thing is, COVID is everywhere.
Run.
There's nowhere to run.
Yeah.
And that's the amazing, that's, you know,
Of course.
you have to you have to deal with what's happening. So unfortunately, with regards to your aunt, of course, it's frustrating. I mean, you know, I was talking to, like I say, we do for our spiritual retreats, for HEEB fusion spiritual retreats.
Yeah.
We do live blood analysis. And anyway, I was talking to Louise this morning, and she said the suicide rate in South Africa has gone up 90%. 90%.
Wow.
And I said to her, I actually mentioned you.
Well, I mean, we knew this, but 90%.
90%. So, and I'm actually mentioned, you know, one of a conversation that we had with regards to that.
Yeah.
And it's so people out there are not coping.
Yeah.
So if an aspect, I mean, what I would say to your aunt is it's unfortunate. So there's going to be frustration. It's part of the evolution of life. It's part of the lessons of life. It's just life. It just is what it is. The important thing is how you deal with that. So that you don't stress yourself out. And I know it's or check out, because I mean, I said to Carolina, even before COVID started, I said to her, because I could see a lot of suicides. I said, there's a lot of people going to start killing themselves. That was even pre-COVID, pre-COVID, long time.
Yeah.
So, you know, the important aspect of this test, this challenge, is mastering oneself.
Yeah.
You are going to get frustrated. You are going to get depressed. You are going to get stressed. Your body is going to suffer. Your mind is going to suffer. Your emotions are going to suffer.
Yeah.
The important thing is just to take it one day at a time, and to move through those sways.
Yeah.
So that you don't become overwhelmed.
Mm.
And like you say, you check out, because I mean, it's risen 90%. That's, you know, and I think it will, even post-COVID, I think it will be safe to travel in a sense, because the vaccines will still, I mean, they haven't really been tested. There's no substantial evidence.
I mean, the creators of them, I read yesterday, have now verbalized that these are not efficient. Please, again, guys, read up your own info. This was Fauci and Bill Gates saying they now realize they are inefficient and ineffective, and now everyone will have to take their booster shots, which, again, to me, I'm like, isn't that interesting?
Those vaccines are only basically work for 3 to 6 months, because the viruses will mutate.
Of course.
You know, but my point is that there hasn't been sufficient, and that is the way it is. I mean, they have basically created a vaccine, you know, over a month period instead of over a 7 to 10 year period.
Yeah.
So in terms of a scientific aspect, yes.
I feel it's a bit lab ratty at the moment, hey?
Yeah. No, but I mean, there's so many humans on planet Earth to test on.
Of course.
Because there are too many people.
Of course.
So, you know, if a few million die, then what's that?
Yeah.
You know. But what I'm saying is that there's no evidence.
There's no evidence, no data, no control.
To basically show the first of all the side effects over a long-term period.
Yeah.
But it's like a catch-22, because what do you do? Well, I haven't taken the vaccine, you know.
But I mean, you're gonna have to. And
look, if I want to move overseas, if I want to travel, yes, I will. And like we said in one of the episodes, I will deal with the the breakdown. Did you see that glitch?
Yes. I saw that fully.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it's unfortunate because obviously, you know, humanity out there just want to get on with their lives. They want things to go back to normal. Because it's an 18-month period. I mean, I know for myself, being an entrepreneur, having my own business, it's been very, 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 very stressful. You know, and there are people out there that have lost their jobs, lost family members.
Yeah.
So it's a very catch-22. It's like, okay, I just want to get, you know, we just want to get this shit over and done with now and get on with our lives. But the process of this
purge
is you. I know it's not easy, but look at it as an aspect of mastering the different areas of your life. Because where you feel conflict, where you feel dread,
fear, yeah,
those are the areas that you need to focus on.
Yeah.
You know, and be gentle with yourself and give yourself more in those areas. Give yourself more attention in those areas. Because this will just make people stronger. And it's unfortunate, you know, but can I tell you something, that when the climate crisis really starts taking effect, does humanity not think that there will be other viruses that will come forth?
Yeah.
And that is a big part
really
of
you say that, because this weekend, so again, I say I went camping. I mean, it was storm here, right? But we're troopers, we went. And in my mind, I was like, imagine, so again, everything is a program. So imagine COVID, as example, didn't exist, all right? This virus didn't exist. But all of a sudden, there was 4 months of storms, right? And you could not go to work. Your internet was down because the storms or whatever. So now it's just like, oh, well, shit, Mother Nature's doing her thing, and it's called a storm. This is an electrical storm for 4 weeks. Okay, and things have been ruined afterwards, you know, much like a hurricane or whatever. Like, but you know, where would people's mindset be in? There's this acknowledgement of this natural evolution taking place, and there seems to be, again, intuitively speaking, this again, organic intelligence that says, oh, well, shit, there's nothing to do here but hold the fort and write it out and pray and be there for community. And shit, we lost a cow down the river, and you know, Betty and Susie lost their home, let's bring them in. The difference here in lies that, again, it's that organic intelligence and the release of this fear that's being instituted and incepted. And that's where the difference lies. You know, this is this, like, I don't know, like this little viral thing coming in that's not, it's a different feeling. And like I wanted to share that with people, because it's like, well, when, like you say, the climate crisis comes in, what would the difference be? Wherein does it lie? How do you react differently? How do you respond differently? How much more compassionate are you to others? Or you're like, that guy's just come out of the storm. No, you'll be like, you've just come from the storm. Whereas with this virus, it's like, you know, it's just a different, there's such a fundamental difference. And
I think the important thing to remember is that whatever conspiracy theories revolve around this coronavirus, like I say, it's irrelevant already, because governments will continue to make biological weapons. There's no doubt about that. That's just the way it is. That's not going to change. But the important aspect to remember is, like you say, how will people react when there's a lockdown because of climate crisis? Whatever the effects are, whether it's floods, or it's sandstorms, or electrical storms, whatever the case may be. But I think the most important aspect for humanity to really sit with is that, okay, we weren't thinking about the COVID virus, or we weren't thinking that this could happen, because even governments were not prepared, right? Now is a time to think, okay, about the climate crisis or issues at hand, and not to sit back and just
wait for things to go back to normal.
This is not going to affect me, because it definitely is.
Yeah.
So I think the important thing is that this COVID is giving people a chance to say, okay, we do not want to be caught in a serious climate crisis where there are floods, or there's no rain, and that causes drought, there's no food, that causes riots, that causes the governments to be over coup d'etats. The list is endless.
The domino effect.
So the important thing is humanity really needs to start thinking about what they are doing, because and stop leaving everything up to governments.
Yes, that was my next point here of, like, for example's sake, again, so governments have instituted lockdowns. They are instituted because there is a collective consensus and consent, whether you think you've